We move on to bag 9, so would you please welcome into the cage Mohammad Ali Shazlee. Welcome his opponent to the cage, Dariusz Tumilowicz. Three-minute rounds of amateur MMA in the featherweight division. And in the red corner, he weighed in at 145.7 pounds. He represents Renegade BJJ, Mohammad Ali Shazlee. And his opponent fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed 145 pounds even. He represents New Wave Academy, Dariusz Tumilowicz. Your referee in charge of the action, Mr. Andy Nichols.
Mohammad Ali Shazlee from Renegade BJJ. In the red corner, Dariusz Tumilowicz from New Wave Academy, the man they call Tintin in the blue, and we have got featherweight mixed martial arts at 145 pounds. These two young up-and-comers clash tonight here at LFC 10, and it's a sprint to the center of the ring. Tumilowicz looking to slip away as he pumps that jab out, Dean.
Tumilowicz looking early for the big power punches, setting up the kicks very well, but gave up the takedown. Shazlee now on top, looking to pass the guard.
Shazlee very proficient in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a BJJ fighter first and foremost. You can see there the level of passing as he tries to stuff the knees and moreover lasso the legs. But Tumilowicz, a game opponent, has been studying the doctrine known as BJJ down at New Wave Academy under the Checkmat team now. So we've got Thiago Valente, his BJJ coach, in the corner. And it's a guard recovery there for Tumilowicz. Thought about the hip bump sweep.
Tumilowicz did a great job of getting the guard there, Chris. Now threatening the Kimura. It looked like he wanted to stand up in that exchange, but now he's finding himself in the half guard. You can see Shazlee's gripped the arm, the right arm, I believe, and he's using it to take the back, Chris.
Classic wrist ride. If you haven't seen Robin Black's latest breakdown, he talks about it for about 8 minutes straight at light speed. Definitely a new fad right now, or at least according to Black, one that's been around for a long time. But seeing a revival, either way, the wrist ride here shown off by a Shazlee. Dariusz Tumilowicz trying to counter here, but winds up now on the wrong side of back control with Shazlee sporting the body triangle as well as possibly a BATTLEZONE. If he can get that rear naked choke running here, Dean, he's got the arm around the neck. Although Tumilowicz blocking it by tucking the chin.
Shazlee trying to pin the left arm of Tumilowicz to make his chin more available for that choke, but Tumilowicz fighting out of this position. Again, looking for the rear naked. He needs to get the other hook in, otherwise he might get shaken off this position. Tumilowicz looking to clasp, undo the hands from the top, and alleviate the pressure, Chris.
Man, that squeeze was good, but not enough for Shazlee. Look at this, though. He's swapping to an Americana here, Dean. He's got a couple of options if he get that straight arm lock, but wow. Tumilowicz forced to give up mount. Shazlee pouring on the ground and pound. What a series of exchanges. Going palm to palm now here is Shazlee.
Shazlee's transitions from submission to submission are excellent to watch, but he needs to be careful about letting that other hook, Chris. Now he finds himself on the back in the half guard position. He's looking for that underhook around the back. He'll look to scrape that leg out of Tumilowicz and turn the position round, put his back on the cage.
Tumilowicz thinking about cupping that chin here for a possible guillotine option, but the clock is going to run out here as bullfighters walk up the fence. It is the end of a breathtaking round one. Round two of a scheduled 3 here tonight at LFC 10. Chris Hoekstra along with Dean Midhat here on the microphone hosting the proceedings. And that was very smart by Tumilowicz. He caught the kick, but what he didn't do was let Shazlee close in and get a hold of him.
It's almost Shazlee is baiting with these kicks. He wants the fight to the ground, but he doesn't want to risk getting into a stand-up battle with Tumilowicz.
And so really, Dean, what you mean by that is that Shazlee can afford to kick more often.
Is to stop him getting the damage to the head. You see it now, he wants the clinch, he wants to be close where the strikes from Tumilowicz won't have as much power or damage on them. And now you see Shazlee, to see if he scoops, he's gonna try and pull the hips away from the cage to stop Tumilowicz walking up and standing to his feet.
What I liked from Shazlee there, though, was the way he picked that ankle, Dean, and actually pulled Tumilowicz down, gets him up to the wire, now turns him away to nullify any possible fence walk. And look at the grip again, Dean.
Again, we see Shazlee pinning the arm behind the back of Tumilowicz. This allows him to pass to that side, Chris, because he can't defend that side as well as the opposite side. So he's going to look to go around to the right side of Tumilowicz and then possibly look for a mount here. You see he's sneaking his right knee through. But Tumilowicz, excellent transition, sweeps him round.
More wrist ride action there from Shazlee. But Tumilowicz survives the scare. Tumilowicz on top. Shazlee looking to operate out of an open guard here. He may look to lock those legs back up for a closed guard, Dean.
Tumilowicz needs to think about getting his arms out of this position to posture up, Chris, and not leave his arms out like that. Exposes him to triangles and arm bars.
But Shazlee pulling mission control here. I like this. Now what he's doing is a very, very underutilized technique, in my opinion. He's got a dead orchard option here if he wants it. But what he did is he went to crackhead control to try to hike up a higher guard and throw up possible arm bars and triangles, as you said, Dean. But Tumilowicz relentless and just powering out. Possible choke attempt here from Tumilowicz.
I'd like to see Tumilowicz capitalize on the mistakes of Shazlee and stay on top, not go for the guillotine and end up on the bottom. You see, he's still got his arm wrapped around the head there, Chris. That just serves to keep Shazlee on top.
Look at this here, though.
Excellent transitional sweep from Tumilowicz, but Shazlee on the bottom, threatening that Kimura on the left side of Tumilowicz. You see he's locked up the figure 4.
And what he would like to do is try and hike Tumilovich's left arm out. The one that Tumilowicz is hiding between his own legs right now to prevent that lock from coming on.
Yeah, he wants to put the palm of the hand to the back of Tumilovich's head.
Andrew Nichols in charge, and both men engage with a touch of gloves. Tumilowicz there in orthodox. Shazlee in southpaw, right leg forward. Swing and a miss from Tumilowicz. Tumilowicz with the probing jab.
So you see Tumilowicz keep that distance, keep that low stance so he can sprawl on the legs. Interesting to see Tumilowicz just initiate the clinch, but that's what he needs to do. He needs to start thinking about throwing shots like the knee, the uppercuts, and then breaking away from his clinch position, Chris.
And look at this, a little bit of Uchimata there from Shazlee. Or maybe even if he lets go of that, a rolling knee bar. But it would seem to me that with the overhook, he was thinking about the takedown. Look at this. Every jiu-jitsu fanboy in the audience loves a butt scoot.
Very smart from Tumilowicz to get out of that position, to stand back on the feet. But again, Shazlee relentless with this takedown. He gives up his back. Wow, let's see if Tumilowicz now being on top, so if he can get the back or get the mount position and land some decisive, damaging shots from the top, Chris.
Empty half guard here from Shazlee. Shazlee trying to work that right leg in to the right leg of Tumilowicz and Grapevine. That he can use that to try to open up a recovery.
It's difficult here because you see Shazlee, he's turned over to his right side. That allows, just like that, Tumilowicz to pass round to that left area to get into the side control. But Shazlee, interestingly, weathering the storm. I think he's waiting for the perfect ample time to buck out and turn into Tumilowicz.
And look at Tumilowicz strip that Grapevine away by using his left heel just a moment ago to slide the right leg out. There we go, much better for Tumilowicz. Tumilowicz on top. Tumilowicz looking for the left arm.
Again, Tumilowicz did the right thing. He sprawled his hips back, but Chris, the cage was behind him, so he couldn't go any further, which allowed Shazlee to link up on those legs and try and initiate the takedown. But we see Tumilowicz looking for a single leg himself. He's going to turn Shazlee to the bottom, but he could be caught in a submission here, Chris.
Big squeeze going on. Tumilowicz trying to stay alive here by pushing on the hips, open up some breathing room. Whoa, that Darce looks pretty tight, Dean.
Looking around, see Shazlee's going to try and walk around and clasp the legs just right there and arch his hip, but he needs Tumilowicz's head on the center of his chest to create that extra pressure.
And what I think Shazlee would like here is a deeper grip. That grip looks a little bit shallow to me right now, and that is allowing a little bit of breathing room for Tumilowicz. Wow. Crazy stuff here. Survival mode for Tumilowicz as he throws up a Hail Mary armbar here, Dean.
This is a very interesting turn of events, Chris. Can Tumilowicz pull off the ultimate upset and get a submission here? He hooks the leg, looking for the extension.
And he's going for it. Big crank here from Tumilowicz. The clock is running out. And that is the end of round 3. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for both young men in the cage after 3 hard-fought rounds of action. And they have taken us to a split decision in favor of the red corner, Mohammad Ali Shazlee.